Which holidays matter most, in my opinion, and celebrations? Well, you have a lot of holidays in America, and they're creating more and more, too many to celebrate. But you got some of the ones are monthly, like Black History Month is a whole month. There should be, Black history is a part of human history. And, you know, that's one I've heard people talk about a lot. But Black History Month, there is no Black history without human history. There's no Black history without Jesus Christ. So, my favorite holidays, the ones that matter the most, is Christmas and Resurrection. Which people do it around the Easter time, but I call it Resurrection Sunday, a celebration. So the two most important holidays, without a question, are Christmas and Resurrection Sunday. And I'm forgetting some holidays, but history is a good thing to celebrate. We should celebrate history, and since we already have Black history in place, we should. It's probably easiest to continue it. There's a debate on that because uh, I think some political groups have used it to promote racism a lot and pretend that America never ended slavery and stuff like that. And so it's kind of strange that, frankly, the Democrat side has switched it around to make it look like America is only about being a slave country when the Republican half of the country came here for freedom from slavery and they ended the Democrat slavery. And it was back then, it's the Confederates, which is the Democrat Party, though. And the Republicans actually ended the slavery. So there's a half and half part of the country. There's the people that people came to America for freedom were running from who brought slavery. But the America was actually here to end slavery. The people that grew America and actually won and were here to end slavery. So, but the most important holiday, it's good to celebrate ethnicity's growth and stuff, but I kind of think we should have a human history month and maybe celebrate each ethnicity, within the whole human race. So you got mainly Asians, Black, European white, and Arab, and Indian, Eastern Indian, Western Indian. What else? Hispanics are basically from Europe. So I don't know. You can summarize certain things. I may be leaving one group out, one primary group that, the main biggest groups, where everybody comes from pretty much. But we all came from Noah's Ark, basically. So, history is a good thing to know, but people twist it. People twist everything, right? But so I would say I haven't put a lot of thought into this. The main thing I thought about was so I hadn't thought through all the holidays, but what I thought about specifically, yes, was that no other celebrations would exist without Christ, who created us, right? Christ, who is believed, he proved when he rose from the dead that he had the power to create Adam and Eve. He proved when he rose from the dead that it was true that Christ was born through a virgin, that God miraculously put his seed into Mary. And so she had never had sex before and had Jesus Christ. Okay. And there was no artificial insemination and all that back then, but I can question, oh, wait a minute, maybe people knew something about it. I don't think people were experimenting like that back then. We didn't have science labs. They didn't. And I don't think they were that perverted back then, but I won't say they weren't that perverted before the flood, when God destroyed the earth with a flood. They could have been. Anyhow, let me just brainstorm and see if I see any other holidays I can think of. There's just none that stand out like Christmas. And we're just talking about Christ's birth, the virgin birth, and Resurrection Sunday around Easter, where they celebrate in Christ's resurrection. No other holidays would exist without Christ, without God who created us. And that's my belief. That's my opinion. And there's much evidence to support that's true. There's very little evidence that you can't really disprove it. You can't 100% prove it, but it's mostly proven. And he teaches us to love one another. So why is it a debate that we have a Black History Month and not a White History Month, for instance? Why is it a debate, though, that we have a Black History Month at all? Because Jesus told us to love our neighbors. That's why it's a debate. And there should probably be a debate, but if we celebrate Black History a whole month, White History a whole month, Indian history a whole month, they're doing some of that stuff, And I think there is a month for White History now. I forget which month it is. June? I don't remember. If I'll try to remember and point that out. Should I remember real fast? I don't think I can. All right, we'll close this video out. But the main thing you need is, since I'm on the subject, do I agree with Black History Month? I've gone through a lot of different scenarios on it. I have one issue with Black History Month being in February, because I think the Democrats have created a lot of these celebration months, and they purposely put it there, I think, to ignore Abraham Lincoln's birthday, who ended slavery. So we're celebrating. They're always talking about how America's a slave country, but the man who ended it, his birthday's during February, and you never talk about that. That should actually be. So you could still keep Black History Month in February and also applaud, and that should elevate Abraham Lincoln's birthday and start celebrating freedom from slavery instead of, and how the Republicans ended slavery. And everybody joined the Republican Party. And I'm an independent, by the way. I claim to be independent because of the psychological confusion on different things, but I definitely lean Republican. I definitely think the Democrats are anti-freedom, and I think the Republicans, they're the ones that gave us freedom, and they still are pro-freedom. They're pro-capitalism in the right way, whereas Democrats are actually capitalists with media, with the court systems now, and they have been maybe in the smaller courts for a long time, and we haven't realized it so much, how they put innocent people in jail a lot, like they're doing with Trump. Now, a lot of people don't believe he's innocent, but Summer Daniels, she's a XXX porn star, unrepentant, by the way, and they're making a big deal about Trump because he thinks some women are pretty, or, what's his crime? He thinks some women are pretty back in the day. So do I. But anyway, but one of his biggest accusers, the biggest voice of the Democrat Party right now, is a XXX porn star who's not repentant. I'm not here to bash porn stars and people for their, if their faults or whatever, but because I believe in redemption, forgiveness. I don't believe in browbeating somebody about all that stuff. And we all struggle with. We're all sinners. If anybody admits it, they struggle with their appetites, whatever appetite it is, whether it's lust too much food or something, or not feeling like getting up and doing something you need to do. We all struggle with that at times, right? So, but certain ones are a little more dangerous, so we have to keep them in taps. But the point is that the Democrat Party, in hating on Trump for having not being an angel and being a sexual human being instead of asexual. Angels or asexual human beings are sexual. They have a sexuality. We do have sexuality. So they're hating on him for that, while they're promoting somebody who, as a business, in a sense, makes a business out of sex, basically. And so that's contradictory. One of their biggest voices is somebody who is in the sex business, sex industry, which is debatable whether it should be legal or not. It shouldn't even be legal, probably. It should be considered prostitution on camera, right? But anyhow, so that's the voice who's judging Mr. Trump. I'll end with that. I'm out of time.